This conference will now be recorded.
Yeah, sorry. Okay, team. So, one announcement that we don't have a session tomorrow and day after tomorrow as it is a weekend. So let's take a rest after, after this weekend we might take other weekend sessions. Okay. So that is a one announcement to everyone. Right. So before I proceed further, any queries? Anyone have any queries? Okay. Okay, team. So it's right. So, team, yesterday we discussed about the training flow, but I did not start anything about mainframe technology. So today I'll start our content. Okay. So this is the first module I'm going to start. It is a TSO SPF. Actually, I'm not starting TSO today because I want to set the background of about mainframe technology. Okay. So, mainframe is a technology, or we can call mainframe as a server. Okay, so mainframe we can call as a server. So what exactly the mainframe, right? What exactly mainframe? If somebody asks what is a mainframe, okay, I know Java, I heard .NET, I heard testing. Okay, what is mainframe, right? So mainframe is a system where you can store the data. Okay, in a mainframe system we can store the data. Example, if you take a Java, in Java you have to use Oracle database. If it is a .NET, we have to use SQL Server. If it is a SAP, we have to use SAP HANA. Okay, so every technology have their own database, right? So when it comes to the mainframe, okay, so mainframe is a system, or we can call as a server. In mainframe system, we can store the data. Okay, and another important one about mainframe, in April month, okay, April month, mainframe is going to have 60th birthday celebrations. Okay, so just today I read somewhere in the LinkedIn, so which means that how much old is mainframe technology? 60 years old technology. Okay, so you can imagine 60 years means is it is not a small thing, right? Okay, surviving one technology for 60 years, very rare, occasional. Okay, in industry nowadays, is everything is coming like anything, going also like anything. The way how with how much speed it is coming, with the same speed it is going out. Means, okay, if you see, the demand, they initially they have a huge demand. Later, the demand will not be there. Clients will be looking alternative or advanced things in technology. But when it comes to the mainframe, no, that is not happen. Okay, I will give you one example, team. In almost around 10 years back, okay, there is a tool called Tableau. Okay, there is a tool called Tableau. Tableau is the tool. Okay, Tableau is the tool we it is a we use it to generate the reports. Okay, if you want to generate the reports, visualize, I guess we can use Tableau. Later, after Tableau, okay, we there is another also introduced, other company introduced Power BI. That is again, it is a reporting tool. Okay, so like that, if you take a .NET, couple of years back, .NET was famous. Okay, so many people are, how many people are in Java technology? Same number of people are there even in that .NET also. Nowadays the .NET projects are very less comparatively Java projects. Okay, even if you see Java technology also, right? Earlier, if you know core Java, that is enough to survive in industry. Now, if you know core Java, I mean, if you know Java, base Java enough, it doesn't sufficient. It doesn't sufficient because you should know. front-end technology we call as a full stack developers, FSD. Okay, full stack developer. You should know front end, you should know database like Oracle, you should know core language. Okay, and when you know all of them, you are in the industry nowadays. Okay, the demand is for them. Okay, so but if you see mainframe technology, when it was introduced, almost same flavor, same variation is there till today. Okay, there are some versions came in terms of things that mainframe system. There are features also added, but it is not a drastic. Okay, it is not a drastic where it will change the entire system. Okay, so how it is surviving still after 60 years, 60 years also. Nowadays every generation mentality is different. You know very well. So the same thing it applies on technology also, right? But still, how mainframe is able to manage means able to exist in the system. Okay, why still the mainframe is existing in system? Anybody have any reason? Do you know any reason? Anyone knows reason? You can give me the answer.
Zero downtime and high security.
Yeah, zero downtime. I agree with you. No doubt about it. Okay. So yeah, nowadays other technology like cloud also came, right? That is also zero downtime. That is what they says, right? So one of the main reason, as our colleague said, our friend said, security. Okay, mainframe has more security for your data. Okay, so far in industry, almost 60 years is about to complete. Okay, mainframe. So far in these 60 years, nobody able to hack, or even if they tried also, they would have failed to crack, to to exploit the mainframe, to to hack the mainframe data. So it's not that much easy. It is not that much easy. Okay, because that many security layers are there. So that is one of the main reason still the mainframe existing. If you go back to history of the mainframe, right? If you go back to the history of the mainframe, so mainframe is not developed for businesses, like not for banks, not for something. Okay, they developed for, I guess, security purpose, to keep army security data. Okay, so yes, they want some system where they can store the data safely. So from there they started their journey. Okay, later they from one sector to other sectors it is spreaded. Okay, initially it was using by only us defense teams. Later, other domains also started using, like a banking sector people are using, insurance people are using, because it is a more secure, right? So when US defense is trusting mainframe, obviously banks also can trust easily, right? Insurance companies also can trust easily. So very well, in as per the Reserve Bank of India or federal banks in other countries, right? There is a rule. Okay, there is a rule that if any transaction happens in a day, that transaction should exist somewhere in our bank server for 15 years, 20 years. It is not for one day, 10 days, or no, 1 month. It should be exist for years. Okay, because after 10 years, if the government finds that it is an illegal amount or unethical amount, then there is a high chance uh, to take action against the person. Hence there are some guidelines for which are RBI, or are there any the ruling, whoever controlling the banks irrespective of the country. So they have some policies. So that case, we have to keep the data in more secure. You know, uh, accounts data is very important, right? If I can able to see MLA or some person bank details, then obviously you will be knowing my income mandal, right? So obviously you don't agree as a end user, bank customer, you don't agree that. Are clear? So hence bank organizations also need a system to store their customer data, customer transactions safely. So from there, the mainframe picked. So still in market, most of the banks are using mainframe to store their data. So you take any bank, you take Bank of America, RBS, Citibank, like that. Almost all top 20 companies in world using mainframe to store the data. So why the mainframes when banks are using, very well, okay, as I told you, security. One of the main reason is security. Once your data is in mainframe, you aram say you can relax about the data. So because mainframe will take care it. So that much security is there in mainframe. That is the one point. The other point, okay. So cloud and all recently it came, okay, 5 years back or 6 years back. But for 20 years back, do you have mainframe? Sorry, do you have the cloud? No. 30 years back, do you have the cloud? No. 40 years back, no. 60 years back, you can imagine, right? So, how many transactions happening per day? Per day, how many transactions happening in a bank? You take State Bank of India or Royal Bank of Scotland or DBS, Singapore based or company. You take Bank of America, like that you take any bank. So every day there are so many transactions happens. So to store that much amount of the data, huge amount of the data, right? Nowadays in world everything is digital transaction. Okay, everything is digital transaction. You can do transactions as many you want from your mobile. 10 years back, 15 years back, to do something you have to go to the bank and you have to do the uh, transaction. But now here for 1 rupee, $1, we are paying through app. Indirectly, it is going to create a one entry in your bank statement. Hence, to store to handle that much data, okay, by other system is a difficult. So that can handle, that can store, mainframe can store huge amount of the data, can process the mainframe huge amount of the data. Why we need to process it? I have to generate a bank statements. I want to refer later the transaction. So that all things easily can be done in mainframe technology. Security, huge amount of data you can store. Second point. The third one, availability. Okay, availability means it is almost available 24 into 7, 365 days. 24 into 7, 365 days. All the days maximum the mainframe is available. Next, any queries so far, team? So there is something called RAS. Okay, there is a term called RAS. RAS, reliability. Reliability means nothing to, you don't need to think if there is a data, what happens, if something happens, what happens, okay, if system crash, what happens. All the things will be taken care by IBM mainframe. You don't need to worry about it. Okay, your data is in safe at any circumstances, at any situation. Okay, so that is the meaning of reliability. And A means availability. It is available, the mainframe system is available 24 into 7. The third one, security, which we already discussed. These are all the main features of mainframe. Reliability, availability, security. It can store, can process huge amount of the data for your client. That much capacity is there for mainframe. Are you clear, team?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Right. Now you might get a doubt, okay, who are using mainframe? That is what I was asked, no, as right, that might be the question. So if you go to US, UK, almost all the companies in Australia, in fact, government, state governments, okay, as most of them are from India here, like local governments we have, right, Maharashtra government, Delhi government, Punjab government, like that. In US, each state has a their own government, their own database, right? Apart from entire US country. So some of the state government applications are running on mainframe technology. Okay, so one is top banks in world, top insurance companies in the world, retail companies in the world, okay, and government sector companies also using mainframe. They are using mainframe. Okay, so these are all the people who are using mainframe technology. So any queries?
Can you
Right.
repeat it once again, this point?
So I was telling that, yeah, United States governments also using mainframe technology. Not only private banks, private insurance companies, even other what you call other states, country states. Australia, some of the governments use some of the state Australian country. In Australia country there are some states they are using mainframe technology, like that. you know all Europe based companies, UK based companies, UK or Europe, now both same, right? Europe or UK or whatever you call, United States and Australia, Canada, all this country banks, insurance companies, retail companies are using mainframe technology. So the main business we are getting from only these three areas. Most of the clients are from this area, these countries only. Okay, so that is all about who are using mainframe technology now. So we have something called mainframe, right? I was telling you about mainframe. So who are using mainframe, right? So sorry, not who are using. Yeah. So mainframe is a server. Okay. Mainframe is a server, or I can call as a system. So rather than you say technology, you can say it is a server or system. What does mean, team? What are the meaning of server? If you take a ATM machine is connected to server. Okay, your machine is in at your place, nearby your place, but the relevant application database is there somewhere another machine, right? So that is called server, where your application website is hosted, or application is hosted, that we call as a mainframe server. Okay, we call as a mainframe server. Next, why we are calling mainframe is a system, team? So mainframe as an operating system. Okay, mainframe as its own operating system. Like if you take an example, iPhone has its own operating system. Mac, okay, Apple laptops, Mac OS. How they're having their own operating system. Mainframe as operating system called. One of the oldest operating system is MVS, multiple virtual storage. MVS stands multiple virtual storage. The other one is latest version is when latest, okay, we have, I guess, 12 or 1, 10 version. Jet series operating system. Okay, Jet series operating system. So mainframe as operating system. We have a storage device. We have something called a tape or dash D. Like in our laptop, how we have a hard disk to store the data in Excel file. Either Excel file, anything you want to store. Finally, it is going to sit. Okay, it is going to sit in the storage device. Okay, it has a storage device, and mainframe has its own processor. Okay, mainframe as processor also to process. If you take an example, I opened a Windows Word document, a PPT, Notepad, Chrome, right? We need a processor to process all of them. So mainframe has its own processor, right? So for system, for laptop, operating system is required, storage device is required, processor is required. Same are there even in mainframe system also. Same are there in mainframe system also, right? Now, so then how we are, why we are calling mainframe server team? Then why we are calling mainframe server? Because we can connect the mainframe system from different places. So hence that can be called as a server. As I told you, you are accessing a website, either Google website or your either OneDrive, Gmail, OneDrive or GitHub, anything you are accessing through web, the relevant software, okay, the application hosted somewhere, right? So that facility is there even in mainframe. Once you develop the application to generate the reports, pay slips, or if you want to interact with the front end, all of them you can do in mainframe technology or system, right? So as everybody able to connect to different system, that feature generally will be there in the concept of mainframe server. Okay, so that's why we are calling as a mainframe server. Any queries so far? Yeah. So I'll stop for today here, team. So we will continue the rest of the topics from Monday. From Monday, we will be having 1 hour session.